Well, hello everybody. It's GirlGotGame and welcome back to Steam Prison Beyond the Steam. I was kind of expecting some music when I started this, but not the case. I started a new game and I've got a new choice now that's been unlocked to me. And I also unlocked an episode for Ines somehow as well. So, I mean, that's cool, I guess. But anyway, so last time we did Ulrik's route, we did the Jevite path. This time it's Mr. Pasta Man's turn, Mr. Eltcreed Valentine. So now we're gonna go and see the Jereme path. And that means we gotta consult with our family first so we don't leave right away. Alright, here we go. My duty may come first, but I've already made a promise. I wasn't happy about it, but I couldn't disrespect my mother like that. Not this time. I'm sorry, but I've already made plans. I don't think I'll be able to go with you. I'll at least talk to them. That's good. Nice of you to just, consider your parents for a second. I tried asking my mother about it that night, but she was unequivocally opposed to the idea. Everyone accepted that nothing could be done about it. Everyone but me, that is. Like, if Cyrus's mom says no, I guess that's just a no. I really wish I could have gone. It had been 3 days since Finn left with the others. Finn even still went. Good on Finn. Dark thoughts clouded my mind, in contrast with the blue sky overhead. Finn episode has also been unlocked. I'm just unlocking all the things. I needed to convince myself that I didn't have any choice. Tedious questions of why I had remained popped up here and there in my mind. I guess all I can do is give it time. That's how these things always went. Just like when I broke that plate, or when I lost my whetstone. Time heals all regrets eventually. You want to share those stories with us, girl? Finn said he would work hard enough for the both of us. I would work just as hard from my post here. And now we wait for a bird. Ah, good morning, Sir Ines.
Good morning. Oh, it's you, Cyrus.
Why the long face?
Am I that obvious? It's nothing, really. Just that I've been approached about meeting a potential suitor.
Oh? Really now? You too, huh? Was it your family? What if what if he was the one that Cyrus was supposed to meet? That would be amazing! Oh my goodness, the possibilities. The possibilities of what Ines's route could be. Aw, man. I'm kind of low-key excited. Probably not how it's gonna play out, but that would be really cool.
No, my direct superior. He was quite insistent, so I couldn't exactly refuse.
I see. Difficult times for both of us.
So it seems. You especially, since apparently that's the reason you couldn't accompany the expedition.
I mean, if I say it was unavoidable, I'm pretty sure Ines will like that, because he's basically the male Cyrus, just like all about his duty and just like, that's all I do is I do my duty to the best of my abilities. Really? Ines, I misjudged you. I am so sorry. You are regretful about this. Okay. Interesting. I shall have to reassess. I guess he has grown in the 2 years, so... Alright, I shall make a note of that. Yes. To be honest, I'm still a little bitter over it. I wish I had just ignored my mother and gotten on the lift.
And yet you didn't. Out of respect for your family.
Maybe. Or maybe I just can't separate myself from them. They're always making me do things like this, and I always let them. What about you, Sir Ines? Do you wish you could have accompanied the expedition?
I suppose I would have gone if ordered. I never gave it much thought, actually. My duty comes first. Soxon is always laughing about how dull I am.
Oh god. Was I Soxen in this moment? was I Soxen in this moment? Like, oh, Ines is doll. He's just all about his duty. Blah. And then Cyrus took over. Was like, hit the regret button, you dummy! Hit the regret. Cyrus knows you better than me and Soxen. You mean you've actually seen him smile?
He smiles all the time.
I wouldn't call that a smile. His usual expression seemed more like a derisive sneer. I shouldn't say anything bad about Sir Enos's friend, though. I must have been mistaken. Yes, I'm familiar with Sir Soxen's smile. Mm-hmm. And then he pops in. Oh, that's great.
What are we talking about? Oh, we were just discussing you. I know, I heard my name mentioned.
Sir Soxen's eyes were razor sharp. Well, I should get back to my post. See, he smiled.
Ha! Did I scare her off? It sounds like she has work to do. You may be skilled with a sword, but you're completely hopeless in every other way.
This is why Soxen and I get along.
Huh?
Oh, Ines. 1 week later, I had been receiving etiquette lessons from my mother each night after returning home from work. How to eat, how to speak, how to carry myself. All for the sake of the meeting I had coming up in 5 days. Does Mom go through this with every suitor that you've had to deal with? I wasn't sure what this thin veneer of manners was supposed to accomplish. It felt like I was misrepresenting myself. But I continued to study diligently for my mother's sake, all while telling myself that it couldn't hurt to be prepared. Today, I'm supposed to be working on my posture. I placed a book on top of my head and walked around the room. I was used to carrying a sword with me, so I kept shifting my center of balance forward. The first few times I tried to correct myself, the book fell off instantly. But it's going much better now. I can bend and stretch, and it doesn't move at all. Probably because I had this drilled into me when I was a child. For as long as I could remember, I had been raised in the tradition of the nobility, so that I could become a refined young woman who wouldn't bring any embarrassment to my family. It sounds like someone's at the door. Who would be visiting at this hour? There was no one else around. I was the closest to the main entrance. I deliberated for a moment over whether to bring my sword, but ultimately decided it wasn't necessary as I approached the door. Oh my, hello. What are you wearing? What is the button to hide this? Is it this? Yes. Well, don't you look fancy today? I like the purple. Looks good on you. Brings out your eyes. This music, yeah! It's so good.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you to answer. Good evening, Cyrus.
Eltcreed?
Yes, it is I. Do you always walk around the house with a book on your head?
What? No! I hastily reached for the book and accidentally sent it tumbling. Eltcreed deftly caught it just before it hit the floor. Of course he did.
Whoops.
Thank you. This is...
I know. You're working on your posture, aren't you? Shall we put it back on?
No, I'm done for today. My apologies for my unbecoming appearance.
What's so unbecoming about it? This is a great way to straighten one's back. Even I have dabbled in it before.
You have?
It may shock you to learn that I was raised in a respectable family. How the cultured citizens of the Heights produced a rotten bastard like me, I'll never know. But if I get started talking about myself, we're liable to waste the next 31,674 hours. Time being precious as it is, we should move on to business. Is your father or mother at home?
That's a very specific amount of time. Yes, both of them are.
Splendid! This conversation will go much faster with Assemblyman Testella present.
Come on inside. I'll fetch him for you. By the way, what is it that brings you here?
Oh, I mean to inquire about whether I can whisk you away, Cyrus.
Sorry, what? We're going on a trip. I was wondering if we were gonna actually see Dad in this fan disc, so I'm glad he popped in.
I see. You wish to take Cyrus on that expedition you mentioned.
Yes. I know your focus is on the economy, so you may not be familiar with all the details. But perhaps you are aware that we have received word from the advance party on their arrival, and that St. Yune's interest has been piqued.
Ah, it's St. Yune's doing. There's Yune's episode unlocked.
After a thorough consideration of the minimum and maximum accommodations required to escort him, we've determined that she would be an ideal choice for St. Yune's personal guard.
Oh god, I'm gonna be his personal guard again? Deja vu!
When it comes to security, it's important that the principal have a good relationship with their detail. Cyrus is one of very few officers to have developed a rapport with St. Yune.
Nicely done, Cyrus.
All this is to say, we would like her to accompany us first thing tomorrow morning. Will that be a problem?
It doesn't bother me, but... Misty? Tomorrow morning?
I could tell she was thinking about the meeting she'd scheduled with the suitor, but the mention of St. Yune seemed to give her pause. I can't just sit back and hope. It suddenly occurred to me that I hadn't been taking an active role in the discussion. Eltcreed, is St. Yune aware that I've been selected as the potential guard?
But of course. He said himself that he would feel much more comfortable with you on board.
In that case... Mother, please let me go. I can meet with suitors anytime. This expedition is...
A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Some might argue that meeting your soulmate is too, you know. But... You're right. I realized it when I saw the look on your face just now. And I want you to know I understand that you don't like how I'm always forcing you to do things. Still, I'm sorry. I've been treating you like a child and trying to impose my own idea of happiness on you. I'm honestly ashamed.
Aw, Mom, we had a heart-to-heart. I'm glad I stayed behind, if for no other reason than this. Don't say that. No matter how much time passes, I'll always be your child. I promise I'll go to the meeting once I return. Okay? Is it alright if I join the expedition? I like that the two of them are being compromising towards each other. Well done. Well done, Mom and daughter.
Yes, just be careful.
You have nothing to worry about. I'll be with her the whole time.
You're going too, Valentine.
Yes, even if I have to crawl on my belly. Actually, it was quite a difficult decision. It would be no laughing matter if things in the assembly came to a standstill just because I wasn't around. I realize this is sudden, but I have faith in everyone's abilities, so I don't expect any major hiccups.
I see. Please return safely.
But of course, it would be a tragedy if I were to die before my time. Well, I should be going now.
Oh, I'll see you home.
Are you sure? I appreciate the kind gesture.
Wow. Cyrus is such a gentleman. I was gonna be like, we are gonna see her walking him home, right? We're not just gonna be like, the next day. I seem to recall that you live in the new residential area.
That's right. I enjoy a clean and quiet neighborhood as much as the next person, but it can be difficult living so far from the temple. I always panic when I'm running late.
So you live up here now. That's cool. I like that. Even you run late sometimes, Eltcreed?
I do. Isn't it charming?
I don't know about that.
Oh, did that joke not land? People usually like it when they find out I'm not as perfect as I appear at first glance.
Running from the new residential area to the temple every day seems like a lot of trouble. I'm glad I still live with my parents.
Indeed, indeed. Yes, I suppose you would be. Why, you've even entrusted them with finding you a mate, it seems.
I wouldn't put it that way.
But it's true, isn't it? Not just you, the majority of Heights residents are unable to break free from their parents, or rather, from tradition. Although maybe it's just obvious to me, being from the depths as I am. How should I say it? I haven't really been getting a woohoo, free love vibe from the people here, even though the laws have changed. Arranged marriages with suitors are so entrenched in the culture that hardly anything is different at all.
Woohoo, free love! Well, I wouldn't expect a hippie movement anytime soon, Eltcreed. Give it some time.
Everyone still goes along with it, even though they don't have to. As someone who has transformed a district himself, I've gotten the feeling that this is just the nature of the Heights. As if no one sees what's so great about staying single. I hope that true freedom can be attained one day. For both our sakes.
It's not like I asked my parents to do this. But to an outsider, it probably looks like I actually want to meet those suitors. I felt like I should say something, but I kept silent. I gazed up at the night sky, aware that I wouldn't be seeing it again for some time. Well, I mean, you will, just not this close. The next morning, the lift had already arrived, but its other passengers were nowhere to be seen. Lazy layabouts, all of them. Maybe I got here too early. Glancing at the door behind me, I took my notebook out of my bag. I always brought it with me when I explored the depths, which had left it worn and tattered. It was like a map of my journey over the past couple of years. I sure have been to a lot of places. So many fond memories. 2 years ago, the depths had been a terrifying place that was nearly impossible to reach. Now, I couldn't have been more fascinated by it. Since I was from the Heights, the people I met on my travels sometimes dismissed or belittled me, but that was part of the experience. Compromise and a deeper mutual understanding were the keys to the future. I should keep records of this expedition, too. Not for today or tomorrow, but for the distant future. Prejudice was unlikely to disappear during my lifetime, but I had faith that one day we would be able to live together in harmony. That was the aspiration I carried with me on this journey. Maybe I was getting ahead of myself, but nevertheless, I was glad to be part of the expedition.
Good morning, Cyrus.
Serena's! And St. Yune and Eltcreed? You're all together. I put my notebook back in my bag and nodded good morning to them.
Yes. It's been some time since I last visited the depths, so I'm looking forward to this.
Oh yeah, right. Well, this'll be neat for you. When was that?
I only made one trip last year. On the day that the Sanctuary District officially ceased to function as a holding area for refugees.
Nice.
My presence wasn't required, but I made them take me along anyway. Typically, I'm not even allowed to leave the temple unless there's a compelling reason. Joining this expedition caused a fair amount of concern as well, but when I heard there was a desert, there was no way I was staying behind.
A desert?
You never heard of them either, huh? That's not surprising, considering we don't have anything like them in the Heights. I don't want to hold things up any longer, so I'll tell you all about it on the way down. Let's get going.
Probably a smart idea since it's a long ride down. According to St. Yune, the Earth was home to myriad landscapes before the Great Flood. Frigid regions under perpetual ice, humid tropics where it was constantly raining, and areas with negligible rain and sparse vegetation apparently known as deserts. He explained they were sandy places with wild temperature swings between day and night. Based on the report from Ulrik, the desert we were traveling to was home to a country entirely unlike anything in the depths or the heights. But how could civilization exist in a place that was nothing but sand? St. Yune didn't seem to know either, which was why he had insisted on coming along. Watching him talk, he seemed just like any other boy. It made me smile to see such genuine excitement in his eyes. And an Eltcreed episode. We talked to Yune and Eltcreed unlocked. Great. Perfect. Hey, we're home.
Well done on the journey so far. We'll be staying at my estate overnight before departing in the morning.
Departing? Yes, departing.
By the way, what sort of pasta does everyone like?
Yay, pasta time! Let's go! Pasta?
Oh, didn't you know? I am absolutely obsessed with pasta. I even make my own in my free time. I haven't been able to lately because of my busy schedule, though. Please, allow me to treat you. Now again, what sort of pasta does everyone like?
I'm okay with whatever. I can eat pretty much anything.
You couldn't have given me a more difficult answer, but acknowledged. What about you, Heine?
Same here.
What did I just say? Perhaps you could try a little harder. Don't be shy. I'll make any kind of pasta you like.
You can ask all you want, but I don't know that much about fancy foods. What about you, Cyrus?
Ah, pasta, the fanciest of foods. Me? Ooh. Traditional, probably Ines. Ordinary, Yune? I mean, Eltcreed did say, like, give me something specific, so give the man some creativity? Eh? Yeah, there we go. Since you like pasta so much, I assume you've come up with some original dishes?
Naturally. Ideas are percolating in my brain 36 hours a day. I take it you'd like to taste the fruits of those efforts.
Do you actually have 36-hour days, or are you just overstating? Yes, if that's alright with you.
Of course it's alright. In fact, nothing could make me happier than seeing others take an interest in my pasta. I've been waiting a long time for this moment. Allow me to treat you to my masterpiece. Prepare to be amazed.
Wonder what he's gonna make. Please tell me I get to see what he made.
And after all that fanfare...
Yay! Wait. Let me see the pasta! Ooh, that looks good. Is that like some cheese? Bay leaves? I'd eat that.
Ta-da! I ended up just making whatever I could.
Wow, you did all that in an hour? That's incredible.
This was nothing. Pasta is so simple. You just choose your noodles, boil, and drain. Then prep your add-ins, cook, and mix. Serve it up on a plate for the grand finale. That's all.
You make it sound so simple. I think it's actually difficult to do well, and without being wasteful, too.
Yune looks so happy about this pasta. I love it.
I have my natural intelligence and acquired skills to thank for that. I have been quite blessed, after all. This could be our last pasta fest together, so let's all savor it.
You're right. There's no telling what might happen on our travels.
Indeed, but I'm sure everything will go smoothly, as long as you have me around.
Wink.
You never seem to change, no matter the circumstances.
Would you rather I approach the situation with a sense of grim resolve? It's too soon for that. Our journey hasn't even begun yet. Even as we set out, my faith is unwavering. I have every confidence in this team.
He's right. Putting aside some sort of natural disaster, even if we get caught in a conflict, a peaceful resolution is the best one. If worse comes to worse, you can always rely on me. I'm sure I could find some way to make myself useful.
Are you saying you would surrender yourself to save us? That's an incredibly kind gesture. I'm not very comfortable with the use of force myself, but let's consider that a last resort. We'll leave the fighting to these two. I really can't wait to see you both in action. I'm so impatient I almost wish a mugger would appear.
You don't say. A mugger? Here?
Yes. You and Heine would have...
Heine? I didn't mean to call him Heine. have this headcanon now that Eltcreed calls Ines Heine behind his back. Just deliberately mispronounces his last name. Oh boy. Well, I meant to say.
Yes, you and Heine would have the situation handled in the blink of an eye, wouldn't you? Actually, no, I don't want that. It would be over too fast. That's just not good entertainment.
You find muggings entertaining. It's so difficult to understand your thought process.
I get that a lot. There are times when even I don't understand me. But allow me to explain my logic here. I've admired the knights of old ever since I was a young child. Noble, solitary masters of the sword who fight for justice. I was so thrilled the first time I encountered the hounds, but that feeling didn't last long once I saw what they were really like.
Yeah, that checks out.
Saxon's doing, I assume?
My view of Brandenburg has softened since then. After all, a lot has happened between us, hasn't it? You know what I'm talking about. Admiration is a sort of demon that separates one from reality. I arbitrarily imposed my ideals on the swordsman from the heights, and I was let down because of it. But with a pair of gallant-looking knights like you two right in front of me, it's impossible not to get my hopes up. This childishness is also part of my charm. Isn't it cute? I can't believe it's been 2 years already. I can still picture it like it was just yesterday. Cyrus fearlessly facing down Brandenburg with her sword. It takes me back.
Yep, takes me back too. That's actually a really embarrassing memory for me.
Why? Because of your youthful recklessness? Would you stand idly by without drawing your sword if you witnessed that brutality today?
No, I'd probably do the same thing again.
That's a relief. By the way, why did you become a knight? I mean, a police officer. Female officers are so uncommon, even now. It's part of the reason you've captured my heart and won't let it go.
Because I admired them, the same as you. Oh, in this reality, has Ines and her talked about how he was her inspiration yet? One of them helped me when I was a little girl. He found this for me after I had lost it.
Wow. That's a centennial medallion.
What's that?
They were given to the nobility to commemorate the 100-year anniversary of our nation's founding. I don't think they were really appreciated at the time, probably because so many were made. I'm surprised to see it still in such good condition. Your family has taken really good care of it.
I never realized it had such history behind it. Now I really wish I had thanked him properly, even though he said it wasn't necessary. Ina's over here with the bombastic side eye. Just like, do I say anything?
Cyrus, would you mind if I had a look at that pendant?
Not at all. Here you go. Is this the time? Is this the time? Sir Ines took the pendant from my hand and examined it in silence, tilting his head as he acquainted himself with the feel of it. Sir Ines?
The man who helped you. Was he a rank 1 police officer?
Yes. At least that's what I remember. Yes, flashback to this! I can't believe this is happening now! There he is, young Ines.
I see. In that case, I believe that officer was me.
Hey, Ines episode. Man, all the episodes. What?
What?
Eltcreed's eyes are gonna be like, "Brow."
Why are you being so dramatic, Eltcreed? Isn't this a touching reunion?
Because! Wait just a second, Heine, that's not fair!
He's gonna be like, you guys are star-crossed lovers, what the heck?
What's not fair?
I'm talking about the forces of fate. I thought for sure Cyrus was destined to be with me because of the way I associate her with my ideal image of a knight. How am I supposed to compete with her sense of debt from a childhood encounter?
I knew he was gonna be salty about it.
There's no debt to be repaid here. It's a police officer's job to serve the people.
Hey, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I've never felt such a staggering sense of defeat before. Thank God someone invented pasta. I'm going to need a lot of it to get me through this. Know that I love you, whoever you are.
That man from my childhood was Sir Ines. I can kind of see it, I think. The memory was so old and faded that it was impossible for me to tell, but I still remember what he said to me after. Always faithful. Serving the people is my job as an officer. I don't need anything. Those were his words.
Wow. It's hard to believe you grew up to be under my command. The world works in mysterious ways.
Yes, it really does. It's a little embarrassing now, knowing you were the one I looked up to. But it's also sobering at the same time. I'll have to work extra hard so I don't do anything unbecoming of an officer in front of Sir Ines.
If only you could be a little more mature yourself, Eltcreed.
Damn! Yune's just over there with a cup of tea, like... Ah, tasty.
I happen to be very mature. I'm mature like you wouldn't believe. I'm flawless, talented, beautiful, and smart, with fame and riches to boot.
Yes. I think I'm beginning to understand Ulrik a little better.
Damn.